Hey, what's up, guys? I just uploaded a video on my Stribog or Stribog update. My second range visit. It just loaded. I had a lot of problems with it, and hopefully we'll be able to work through them. This is going to be kind of a mixture of kind of a show and tell slash update slash just kind of sharing a couple things. So. See if you guys notice anything different about this from my last videos. That is a loaded mag. There's nothing in the chamber. So anyway, I had went with an AEMS Holosun, and I'm gonna explain why. I know I think my first video I talked about the Holosun 512C, the gold dot. Ooh. Really dig the gold dot. My eyes are so much more in tune with than the red dot. I don't know why they have a price tag on that, but that's the price that I paid. Looks like $399.95 or yep. So anyway, the 512 was a very large dot system, RDS system, right? I do not think it was intended for a firearm like this. And what I mean by that is because this is a blowback type system, the recoil is a little bit harsher. Not to the shooter, right? So there is no, I mean, we have one recoil spring in there. There's no dampening system, so that blowback system, basically the gun is beating itself up, right? And that optic on there is just, it's taking that shock of the recoil every time you shoot it, versus like an actual carbine. Such as an AR, what those are somewhat designed for. Somewhat might not have been the right word, but so anyway, what happened was that Holosun kept coming loose. So one thing I don't like about Holosuns, this is kind of nitpicking, but then again, it's not. So even on this guy, there is only one mounting point on there. So that 512 is about twice the size of this, and there's literally one bolt holding this onto your rail. So 300 rounds of this thing just beating itself to death. I'm assuming, vibrated that 512. Now I had even Loctited it because it comes Loctited, but I put my own Loctite on there. I even torqued it down. I did 22 inch pounds. I believe it's supposed to be 18 inch pounds. So anyway, this guy is not only smaller, lighter, but it actually has a detent ratcheting type system in the screw when you torque this down. When I was torquing it down, I'm like, oh fuck, I just stripped out the fucking bolt, or I snapped a bolt head. No, like you can feel it, it's very consistent. It's like a very fine ratchet, like. So, not bagging on the 512. I think it's fucking awesome, but it's gonna have to go on another gun. But I wanted to try this guy out. A buddy of mine has one on one of his ARs, and watching some reviews on it. So Aaron Cowan with Sage Dynamics, you know how he does his torture test, and God, I always cringe when I see him doing his torture test. I wish I had that kind of money to just fuck firearms and optics and stuff up. But awesome videos. The guy's great, making the world a better place every time he makes a video. But man, this held up to his typical torture test. If you don't know who he is, check him out at Sage Dynamics. So if you're interested in an optic or some type of firearm platform, chances are he's done a review on it. So search him on YouTube. You'll be you can thank me later on that. How's that? So anyway, in my last video, I went to the shooting range on Sunday. Today is Tuesday. So Sunday, I had a ton of failures in this Stribog, and man, I was so frustrated. Like I wanted to sell this thing, right? And I came back home, watched a bunch of videos on YouTube, and read a bunch of forums. Talked to some folks that have these, and they're like, it's probably the megs. It's probably that light ass ammo that you're using, that 115 grain. And I'm thinking like, damn, like this gun for $1,000 should cycle pretty much everything, right? It's not that it wasn't cycling. It wasn't extracting the spent casing correctly. So, I went to the shooting range today. Actually, I went to the gun shop, and that's why I got this. And ran 60 rounds of that 115 grain Federal through this as fast as I could. Zero malfunctions. Now, mind you, I had stripped this whole thing down. I even took apart the entire lower, cleaned the entire trigger mechanism, lubed everything, put it back together. And a buddy that I think he's like kind of the owner, or not the owner, he's the manager of this gun shop. He gave me some Israeli plus, what is it? Plus P plus ammo. So he ran 10 rounds through this thing, and he was like, this is exactly how this firearm should operate when he ran those 10 rounds. They're very interesting looking rounds. I don't know how old they are, but they seem to cycle the best through this Stribog. And I'm assuming it's because it's a plus P plus, which these Stribogs are intended for. So yeah, I will be going back again. I'm on vacation this week, so I do have a lot of time. But anyway, I literally just reassembled this entire gun with the 70 rounds that were ran through today. Tore the entire thing down, sprayed it down with G96. Actually let it sit for a couple hours, went through with a brush and, just brushed all the carbon off, wiped everything down, lubed it, put it back together, and you can eat off of everything inside of this now. It is that clean. So I want to do an update on the AEMS, Holosun. Now, is the height, I wish this came with mounting options, because that is a pretty tall mount, right? So if you had nods, this is the perfect height. But for something like this, where this isn't actually a cheek weld, it's more of a reference point. So when I feel it touch my beard, I know my red dot is going to be right in my line of sight. So I'm excited. I wish the gold dot, the Holosun gold dot worked. I think where they could have improved that 512 is that they had a quick detach. So it's like you know what I'm talking? God, I can't think of the word right now. I apologize. But basically, you set the the tension on it, and it's got a lever and it locks. Oh my God, I really cannot think right now. I apologize, folks. Or 2 bolts, one on each side, to take that a little bit harsher recoil. And this is the 9mm, so it's not like this thing is like, we're not shooting a 300 Win Mag, right? But the blowback system. So if you haven't shot one of these, they're an interesting design. Lots of firearms have a blowback design. So I run a lot of semi-automatic shotguns. Same concept, right? It's a blowback design. But these things really are beating themselves to death on the inside. So with just around 400 rounds, you can really see the wear on certain internals and also the internal of the actual firearm. So want to make sure those get very well lubed prior to your next shoot. But I really want to see how this thing, after I get to about 1,000 rounds, I want to see how this thing runs semi-dry. I feel like this isn't a gun that needs to be lubed kind of like a 1911, but we are metal on metal. There's no special coating like on some of my ARs, like my bolt carrier and the internal. I forget what type of coating it is, but it almost looks gray. I don't mind running lube. Those things are susceptible to like picking up dirt, dust, debris, and all that good stuff. And I live in a very dusty climate here in the state of Oklahoma. They call it the red dirt state. So anyway, we are about 10 and a half minutes going on 11. I just wanted to do a quick show and tell. If you run the AEMS, let me know what you think of it. I per se don't see any problems coming out of this. I've run a lot of Holosun products. I have never personally had a problem with a Holosun product to where I've had to reach out to their customer service. I've heard of stories and read stories that folks have, and they were well taken care of. But anyway, guys, hope everyone's doing good. It sucks what's going on over in Ukraine, but let me know if you guys run any type of Holosun. Drop some comments in there. Talk shit, whatever. I'll entertain it. Anyway, guys, I'll give you all an update here probably by the end of the week, and we will go from there.